Folks, we've got another great quarter in the books for a gold producer. Alamos Gold this evening reported their third quarter financial results, and well, the word record appears in the release a number of times on all the right line items. The market may not appreciate it just yet after the shellacking that the price of gold took today following the election results down south, but hey, you can't win them all. Folks, we are talking Alamos Gold. We are talking Q3. Let's dive in. Okay, let's start off with the high level. Alamos Gold in the third quarter reported top-line revenue of $361 million, a record for the company and a 41% jump over Q3 of 2023, and also the third consecutive quarter of record revenue. A rising gold price on top of good management will do that. Analysts, meanwhile, had a consensus estimate of $344 million for the quarter, which the company beat handedly. This record figure was off of the back of record production of 152,000 ounces of gold in the third quarter, which follows the $325 million acquisition of Argonaut Gold and the Magino mine earlier this year. Gold production improved 12% on a year-over-year basis and 9% on a quarter-over-quarter basis. And with record gold production, it only tracks that the company had record gold sales, with Alamos selling 145,000 ounces during the quarter. Those ounces were sold at a price of just under $2,500 per ounce on average, a 27% improvement on a year-over-year basis. But not everything was positive during the quarter. All-in sustaining costs, or AISC, per ounce sold also increased by 27% on a year-over-year basis, jumping from $1,100 to $1,400. The substantial jump was blamed on Magino contributing higher cost ounces to Alamos' production profile as a result of downtime that was required to implement improvements at site. Cost increases were also blamed on share-based compensation, which was driven by an increase in the company's share price during the quarter. Net earnings for the third quarter came in at $85 million, an improvement over the $39 million figure reported last year, which equates to earnings per share of 20 cents, double the 10 cents recorded in the year-ago period. On an adjusted basis, net earnings amounted to $78 million, or 19 cents per share. Adjusted EBITDA, meanwhile, came in at $176 million, a 40% improvement over the $125 million figure reported in Q3 of 2023. Free cash flow was reported at $88 million, with Alamos highlighting that this is despite funding a record exploration budget and a Phase 3 expansion at their Island Gold Mine. However, the figure excludes $29 million worth of one-time payments related to the acquisition of Argonaut Gold, which closed during the third quarter. Still, free cash flow improved 135% on a year-over-year basis, and even if you include those one-time costs, free cash flow would have improved by a still impressive 57%. Finally, Alamos Gold closed out the quarter with cash and cash equivalents of $292 million as of September 30th versus $314 million at the end of the second quarter. With that being said, the quarter also saw the company move from being debt-free to drawing upon a $250 million credit facility in an effort to extinguish a term loan revolving credit facility and a gold prepay advance owed by Argonaut. Alamos also entered into a gold prepay advance of their own during Q3, which brought in consideration of $116 million in exchange for the delivery of 49,000 ounces of gold in 2025. The proceeds from that transaction were used to eliminate gold forward sales contracts that had been entered into by Argonaut for 2024 and 2025, which were to deliver 179,000 ounces of gold at an average price of $1,838 an ounce. Comparatively, the forward sale contract entered into by Alamos works out to a figure of $2,348 an ounce. Okay, so let's get into the company's outlook. In terms of outlook, during the third quarter, Alamos increased their production guidance for 2024, bumping guidance to a range of 550 to 590,000 ounces, versus prior guidance of 485 to 525 ounces. On a midpoint basis, production guidance improved by 13%, which is said to reflect the inclusion of assets from Argonaut Gold, as well as increased production at the Mulatos operation. With that being said, cost guidance also increased during the quarter, moving from a range of $1,125 to $1,175 to a range of $1,250 to $1,300 per ounce. On a midpoint basis, that figure jumped by 11%, climbing from a midpoint of $1,150 to $1,275 per ounce. While costing was higher in Q3, Alamos stated that they expect costing to come down in the fourth quarter to within the guidance range. Production in the fourth quarter is expected to be between 140 to 145,000 ounces, which represents a decline on a quarter-over-quarter basis. However, that would place Alamos within their previously reported annual guidance range. On an operational level, it's easy to see why the company acquired Argonaut Gold. Production declined on a year-over-year basis at both the Young-Davidson and the Mulatos district operations. Production did improve, however, at the Island Gold mine, while the company also saw a boost from the addition of Argonaut's Magino mine, which is located right next door to Island Gold. Had it not been for the acquisition of Argonaut, production would have been down by 200 ounces on a year-over-year basis, rather than Alamos posting a record production figure. That being said, integration efforts between Island Gold and Magino are said to be progressing, with the combination expected to create pre-tax synergies of an estimated $515 million, creating one of the largest and lowest-cost gold mines in Canada. The savings are a result of being able to use the larger and more efficient Magino mill, while expansions of the mill and tailings facilities at Island Gold are no longer required. In terms of the ongoing Phase 3 expansion at Island Gold, the shaft sink is said to have reached a depth of 812 meters, which is more than halfway to their targeted depth of 1,373 meters, with the expansion on track for completion in the first half of 2026. Okay, so let's wrap it up. Now, this is normally where we would provide some commentary on what we're seeing on social media, the stock's reaction, etc. But for the first time, there was literally no chatter on the equity anywhere, which might seem bizarre, but we had the big election last night hogging all of the social media spotlight. Given the crash in the price of gold today, my response to the lack of response on social media is that it doesn't really matter. On the market side of things, the equity was down 4% today, but frankly, we don't know if that's just due to the earnings release or just the general price of the commodity, which I would tend to guess it is. I digress. It was a good quarter for Alamos and was boosted, like everyone else in the sector, by the substantial gain we've seen in the price of gold over the last year. As a casual observer, they need to focus on cost containment. But in a rising gold environment, these things can be overlooked by investors. So guys, why are we covering Alamos? Well, hopefully you care. And if you do, please let us know in the comment section that you want us to keep covering Alamos. I personally think that this is the kind of company that those majors are going to be looking for in terms of acquisitions to go add more ounces to their production should this gold bull market continue, which I believe it will. It's funny, I had the luxury of chatting with Frank Justra earlier today, and he seemed to be pretty frustrated that we haven't seen more capital flowing into the equities given what's happened with the price of gold. But my response to that is, look, it takes time. We need to start to see portfolio managers see that they're making so much money in gold that they have to dive in. I'd argue that the mining markets are in like a multi-decade lull, and it's been a long time since anybody gave a shit. I think that this is the time to be doing your homework. If you made it this far into the video, I congratulate you because you are doing your homework and you're at the right place at the right time. I'm not saying that Alamos Gold is a stock you want to own, by the way, but I'm saying it's certainly a stock you want to do some homework on. So if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Guys, also let us know what you think of Alamos Gold. Are you long? Do you hate the stock? What companies should we be covering? Let us know, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time.